So you go to WWE, you go to developmental and OVW, and there's a story that gets passed around. I believe at this point you might have even been the ECW champion in that wonderful resurrection. Sorry, not you, just their perspective on it. But there's a story that floats around about a night with you and Tony Atlas backstage in OVW. I wondered if, I don't think you've ever told it from your perspective. I'd like to give you that forum.
It's a funny story. At the time, it really wasn't. I was the ECW champion. I was set free from my OVW obligations, meaning they told me, you don't have to live in Louisville anymore. You can go wherever you want. And I was just like, cool. I mean, I might as well just stay here and hang out, you know. I would still go to the OVW shows every night just to watch. And that day, I believe Joey Mercury came up to me and he goes, hey, I'm going to sign a TNA contract. And I was like, really? I was like, oh, good for you. So it turned into, this is the last time we're ever going to get to wrestle each other. And I was like, oh, yeah, all right. So I went to Danny Davis and I said, hey, can I work a dark match? And Danny was like, you can do whatever you want, kid. And I was like, great, I'm going to work a dark match. And it spirals out of control into this 4-on-4 tag. I can't remember exactly everybody who was in it, but it was literally like, oh, Seth, you're my buddy. You're in the tag match. Oh, Spears, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know, like, so.
Just trying to have fun.
Yes, just trying to have fun. So I'm, like I said, I'm the ECW champion, whatever the fuck that means. And I'm alone in the locker room, and we talk. You know, we're all going over this match. Like Mike Krul was in it.
Oh, he was so good.
I think Cody might have been in it. I can't like I said, I can't remember. Look it up. And so I pull out my bag, and I'm getting ready, and I tape up, and I'm Xing out my hands, and I'm like, this is just gonna be fun. It's gonna be friends, you know, goofing off, but having a good time. And Tony Atlas walks in. He's like, hey, and I look up and I'm like, oh, hey, Mr. Atlas, hi, I'm Phil, nice to meet you. What are you doing there? And I'm like, I'm just putting my gear on, you know, I'm gonna work a dark match, you know. And he's like, looks like you got 2 broken arms. And I just go, yeah, because I got no idea where he's going with this. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. And it's that awkward, and he just says it again. He's just like, I mean, all that tape, it looks like you got 2 broken arms. And I just go, well, it's just a thing I do. I tape up so I can draw the X's on my hands because I'm straight edge, and I can see, like, this is just...
You're not it's not
it's not registering. I'm not getting through to him. And I after I get done explaining it, and he's just like, well, you know what I think? I think if you don't listen to your coach, you're never going to get called up to the big show. And now I'm just like I look down in my bag and like the ECW title's there, and I'm just like, I said, and I just went, okay, all right, sir, thank you. You know, all right. And he leaves, and I just go, man, that was fucking weird. But you always hear, you know, like, this is the guy I've seen on the MTV show hiding money from himself and having women step on his face with high heels on. So I'm just kind of like, I guess that's just how he operates. So we have the match. It's a tremendous piece of business. It's great. It gets over current OVW angles. You know, an old favorite, Joey Mercury, comes back. CM Punk's back. Everybody, you know, like, we do good business. Baby faces go up. Everybody leaves. Everybody's happy. Remember, I'm like Dante from Clerks. I'm not supposed to be here. We're having the post-show meeting that they always do late Wednesday nights, and I'm sitting up in the bleachers with all the other guys, and I got the Major Brothers next to me, and I got Joey Mercury next to me, and I'm honestly kind of half paying attention because they're talking about the television show and what they can do better and like how they think it went, and they're getting critiqued and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like kind of zoning out, and then all of a sudden Tony Atlas is like, well, I think most everybody here was nice. And I'm just kind of like sitting there just like, that's cool, you know. And he's like, but, you know, one person in particular was an asshole. And I'm just like sitting there going, fuck, man, that's brutal. Like, he's just calling people out, you know? And I'm just sitting there, and he's like, you know, some people listen to what the coaches have to say, and remember, you know, and he starts talking about how he could bench press more than Hulk Hogan and how he beat Hulk Hogan for real one time. And and he's like, you know, and a lot of you are really good, you know, and he would like go off on these weird tangents. He'd be like, you remind me of Tito, but some of you are an asshole. And then that's when, you know, like Joey Mercury elbows me, and I'm like, And then I look, and then I realize he's just staring right at me. And I'm just like, this is fucking weird. You know, and he does it again. You know, oh, everybody was great to work with, you know, and I'm going to have a good report for everybody except for some asshole. And then I just start looking around, and I realize my phone's buzzing. I realize the Major Brothers are like texting on their phones. They're like, oh, and finally I just stand up and I go, are you talking to me? And he like wigs out. He's like, yes, you're an asshole. And I was just like, well, fuck you. And I may have said, I didn't say, do you know who I am? I said, you don't even know who the fuck I am. I said, you don't know his name. He called Spears Mr. Piers. Like you know, I was just like, listen, man, like you come down here and I know why you were brought here. You were brought here to tell people not to fucking do drugs and to save your money because that's something you didn't do. I go, and you're going to criticize me. Listen, it's in the past. I've buried the hatchet with Tony Atlas, all right? I don't want this to fucking be dug up or anything like that. This was literally like over 10 years ago, and we fucking talked and we hugged it out. But at the time, I was like, bro, like, I was like, I'm the guy who just made it out of here, surrounded by guys who are trying to make it out of here, and you're attacking me, and I don't know why. And he started talking. He was like, I told you to take the wrist tape off, and you didn't. And I was just like, dude. And he was just like, well, go to hell. You'll never make it to TV. And I was just like, I'm on TV. I was like, I don't have to be here. Like, why am I being punished for coming back and trying to help? That was the last time I showed up at OVW. It turned into a big thing. It turned into a big thing. Those who politically didn't like me loved it because they went straight to Vince and they're like, literally, we're going to get you fired.
I was just going to say, what was the aspect of the story I've never heard is, what was the fallout from WWE management itself after all that?
Well, to go back to a lot of archaic, dumb, toxic bullshit pro wrestling things, that's what it was. Everyone was like, oh, man, you're going to get fired. You better go talk to Taker. And I was just like, the fuck for? Like, what? Why? You know, like, this guy fucking attacked me. Like, I'm not going to eat shit just because he's fucking Tony Atlas, you know? And the next day, somebody else who was very excited to tell the office was Nova. Oh, stooge.
I like Mike.
Fucking unbelievable. He's way too excited about it. They were like, him and Al, they were like trying to get the Major Brothers fired because I guess there was some story that I didn't know about the Major Brothers had wrist tape on, and you know, Al didn't like them, so Al was like, oh, it looks like you're doing a taped fist match. Like, just real stupid shit to get mad and yell at somebody for no reason, instead of maybe trying to explain, you know. And that's the thing about wrestling, is like those in management aren't really good at managing. Like, they should facilitate and they should help and they should be like, hey, you got any questions? What are you doing today? You know what? I see you got the wrist tape on, and, you know, this kind of old school. Maybe it looks like you're doing a taped fist match, but nobody's ever done one of those around here, and they haven't seen it in 30 years. Explain some shit to people instead of being like, he's got a taped fist. We're gonna get them fired. There's way too much of that shit. And so, like, me explaining it to Johnny the next day, you know, Punk, what happened? I got Tony Atlas sitting on the tarmac. Tampa International says he's not getting off the plane until he gets paid. And I was like, what? What the fuck does that have to do with me? Well, he doesn't want to go to FCW and get yelled at by somebody. Apparently there was a problem. I'm like, yeah, there was a problem. And I told him what the problem was. And we ironed it all out. And, you know, I remember walking into a locker room. Somebody ran and told the Undertaker because they were so excited because they thought the Undertaker would get mad about it, and I would get fired. I'm not going to name who it was, and that's it's in the past.
Was it Nova?
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, I did name drop Nova.
You already name dropped him, so.
No, it was somebody on the main roster who never liked me and has tried to get me fired more than one occasion. So I remember I'd go to the Undertaker. I go, so you hear any good stories lately? And he just laughed and he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, great, we good? Yeah, all right.